Welcome to This Explainer. We're about to set the stage to explore one of history's most advanced, yet completely mysterious, Bronze Age societies. We are literally journeying back thousands of years to unearth the incredible, buried secrets of the Indus Valley Civilization.
Okay, let's dive right into this. How exactly does a civilization with absolutely no grand temples, zero access to iron tools, and a completely undeciphered script manage to build some of the ancient world's greatest, most meticulously planned cities? Seriously, it's a historical paradox that totally flips what we think we know about ancient societies on its head, and it's the perfect mystery for us to unravel today.
So here is the agenda for our explainer. We'll start with unearthing a lost civilization, check out their marvels of urban planning, then move to economy, trade, and cotton. After that, we'll dive into the mysteries of faith, and finally wrap up with a 9th-century drought.
First up, Section 1, Unearthing a Lost Civilization.
Despite having a massive geographic footprint, spreading all the way from the Jhelum River down to the Hindon River in the south, and purposefully bypassing the mighty Ganga, this entire civilization, including its largest Indian site at Rocky Gari, was just lost to time. For centuries, it just sat there hidden. Back in 1853, Alexander Cunningham actually visited the Harappa site. He did a few minor digs, found some ancient pottery, but totally missed its monumental significance. It wasn't until 1921 that Dayaram Satni made a real breakthrough by formally excavating Harappa, and that was quickly followed in 1922 by Rejaldas Banerjee unearthing the incredible ruins of Mohenjo-Daro, all working under the direction of Sir John Marshall.
Moving on to Section 2, Marvels of Urban Planning.
Now, what's really interesting about their cities is that they didn't just grow organically or chaotically, they were designed with absolute precision. In almost every major city, archaeologists find constructed wells and dedicated bathrooms. Just look at Dholavira in the Kutch district of Gujarat. The whole town was built in this perfect rectangular shape and systematically divided into 3 highly distinct parts. Step 1, the citadel. Step 2, the middle town. And Step 3, the lower town. A systematic, step-by-step urban blueprint like this was virtually unheard of in the ancient world.
But Dholavira didn't stop at a great layout. They had an incredibly advanced water harvesting system. They literally built a series of dams and channelized the water right into connected reservoirs. To put the sheer scale of their engineering into perspective, they carved a rock-cut reservoir that was 7 meters deep and a whopping 79 meters long. Honestly, it's an engineering marvel that still blows the minds of modern hydrologists today.
Next up, Section 3, Economy, Trade, and Cotton.
So with all these great cities, what were they actually making and trading? Well, we found some fantastic evidence, like terracotta models of plows recovered from Kalibangan in Rajasthan and Banawali in Haryana. Plus, there was this masterfully crafted ivory scale found at the port city of Lothal. But here's the crucial point. While they were absolute masters of metallurgy, working with gold, silver, copper, and bronze, they had zero knowledge of iron. Iron wouldn't even show up until the post-Vedic period, around 1000 BC. What's even wilder is that this massive, trade-heavy network ran without any modern coinage. The very first punch-marked coins in India didn't appear until centuries later.
But hey, they didn't really need coins to be global powerhouses because they basically had a monopoly on something we all wear every single day: cotton. The absolute earliest evidence of cotton cultivation for clothing traces right back to the Indus Valley around 3000 BC. Excavations at Mohenjo-Daro proved this, which means they beat ancient Egypt to the punch by about 500 years. Their cotton was so highly prized that it eventually reached Greece, where they literally called the fabric sindon in honor of its Indus origins.
Moving right along to Section 4, Mysteries of Faith.
Now, the great enigma here is that this was, by all appearances, a completely secular civilization. Absolutely no temples or monumental shrines have ever been found. Not one. We know they revered nature, especially the sacred peepal tree, but organized temples, nowhere. However, we do have clues. Sir John Marshall famously identified the Pashupati seal from Harappa. It's a steatite seal showing a 3-faced male deity in a yogic posture, surrounded by a rhino, a buffalo, an elephant, and a tiger. Because of this one amazing artifact, a lot of historians think they might have worshipped an early form of the Hindu god Lord Shiva, or Rudra, the lord of animals. Animals were definitely a big deal to them. Looking at their uniquely shaped seals, mostly made of steatite but sometimes terracotta or agate, you see a whole menagerie. You've got the buffalo, tiger, rhinoceros, goat, and elephant. But towering above all of them, the single most common creature in their entire iconography is this mysterious one-horned animal.
But honestly, what's missing is just as fascinating as what's there. There is no evidence of the lion anywhere, like completely absent from all excavations. And then there's the horse. Now, the horse is a highly disputed topic in archaeology right now. Some of the very latest digs suggest possible evidence of horse bones, but we have to be impartial here. There are absolutely zero depictions of horses on any of their seals.
And this brilliantly illustrates just how complex their belief systems really were, especially when you look at how they treated their dead. Practices varied wildly from city to city. You've got double burials at the port of Lethal, and the emergence of sacrificial fire altars at Kalabanga. Over in Senali in Uttar Pradesh, archaeologists found a staggering 125 graves filled with animal bones, copper, and gold. And speaking of gold, it's pretty tragic, but a massive ancient treasure trove from the late Harappan period was accidentally discovered and looted by villagers in Mandi back in the year 2000. Finally, let's move to Section 5 and see how this all builds to a 9-century drought. So, how does a society this advanced, this incredibly water-literate, just disappear into the dust? The answer comes down to this staggering number, 900. According to highly detailed reports by IIT Kharagpur, the real culprit was continuous low or negligible rainfall. Simply put, this great civilization was ultimately brought to its knees by a relentless, devastating 900-year drought. Which leaves us with a pretty tragic historical irony. Over in Mesopotamia, their contemporaries, the Sumerian civilization, developed cuneiform, the earliest proper system of writing. We can actually read it today and hear their voices. But the Indus Valley Civilization, despite all their brilliance, their massive urban planning, and their huge trade networks, they left behind a script that remains completely undeciphered to this very day. So what does this all mean for us? It leaves us with this one lingering question. Will we ever crack the code? Will we ever decipher their script and finally hear the actual thoughts, words, and names of a brilliant Bronze Age society that built wonders, only to be slowly silenced by a 900-year drought? It is a giant puzzle that continues to drive archaeologists, and I really hope it leaves you eager to keep exploring the incredible depths of our ancient history. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.